How to get perfect credit, that 800 credit score. Yes, let's get it. Let's get these credit scores up. Let's do it. All right. 609creditrepair.com. We can do the work for you at theawesomelifegroup.com. All right, I'm going to put my email address in here as I get to go and I get to talk and I get to answering questions. I want to make sure that I answer all of your questions. Sometimes in the live chat, I might miss something. I apologize. So definitely feel free to email me. And yes, I'm on these emails on the daily. All right. So we're talking about perfect credit. We're talking about what is perfect credit. It's an 800 credit score, right? Now, people say, oh, well, it's got to be that perfect. It's got to be that 850. It's got to be perfect. Really, over 800 is considered perfect credit, right? Typically in this bracket, you've got no late payments. It's all good on-time payment history. And we can break it down. We've talked about it here before, but we can break it down again, all right? Millie saying, hey, I want to join. What's going on? We have people standing by right now, all right, for the VIPs on Saturday. That's right. Dubs. TheAwesomeLifeGroup.com. I'm putting it in right here, all right? I'll let them know, one of our representatives. Let's see. Darwin Smith, Jordan from the Awesome Life Group. Awesome Loof. What is Loof? What am I talking about? Jordan from the Awesome Life Group has been doing great. It's the best. Thank you very much. We've got an amazing team, the Awesome Life Group. It's phenomenal what we're doing. Fantastic work. I'm getting great writings, great testimonials on the daily. I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming back and letting us know. If you watch these live streams, if you watch the videos, you'll see. So make sure you hit the subscribe chat button and that bell for notifications. All right. Matter of fact, I'm going to let the team know right now. We had a great, man, I'm trying to get on my, new team chat. There we go. Because while I'm online, Make sure people know. All right, great. Taisha. Upside down, Ms. Ramirez working with Penny right now on my credit. It's excellent. That's what I'm talking about. Team, we're standing by theawesomelifegroup.com, or you do this, 609creditrepair.com, and you got the email support with me and the team. So it's not like you're all on your own, okay? Something I want to talk about here, that 800 credit score, that elusive 800, okay? And I've personally seen my own score go from the 800s to the high 700s back in the 800s. And I'll tell you a little bit about why that happens and how it happens. But most importantly, what we're talking about is that on-time payment history. When we're talking about disputing these negative, nasty, erroneous items out of there, we're talking about this on-time payment history, these late payments, these charge-offs, collections, whatever they might be, repossessed, whatever it might be, right? That's where we're really focused. 35%. That's the biggest. There's nothing else bigger than that. There's no 40% bracket of, the pie chart. You've all seen the pie chart, right? Payment history is 35%. Now, you might be able to add up to 40%. Amount of debt is 30%, and length of credit history is 15%. So that's 45%. But that's two separate categories. There's no one category bigger than payment history. So when you're looking at your payment history, you're thinking that's what's potentially holding down your credit right now. That's what you're looking at right now. You're thinking, how do I repair my credit? How do I get better payment history? Late payment dispute letters, goodwill letters, right? We've got 609 dispute letters for getting these negative items out of there, right? And unverified late payments out of there. Collection validation letters, get these out of here. That was my big first step, getting these negative items out of there. Positive history on there as well by updating the lates to positive, okay? I used late payment disputes. I used goodwill letters. I use it all, okay? And we got this big bump, right? Payment history. Now, amount of debt. This is very interesting, the 30%, and this is what I talk about here, is why my score has gone up and down. Okay, amount of debt. Less than 7% utilization, accounts on balances, 3 accounts, you're using revolving credit, okay? 30% amount of debt. When my score, it's very interesting, when my score was healed and repaired, bumped up in the 800s, okay? So 800s, like the light 800s, right? It was above 700, 790, it was like 800, 805, 802, something like that, right? Like 800s. And now we're in the higher 800s, which is great. But it was right there. And I started putting it to work. I started getting these travel cards because I wanted to travel the world for free. So I get these travel cards and the credit score comes down a little bit. Okay, no problem getting hard inquiries and whatnot. Okay. But even without utilizing my credit, after getting this boost, I was in the 800s. Now, would it have stayed in the 800s had I not utilized my credit? Potentially. But on a long enough timeline, what they like to see is revolving credit being used. So when I got these travel mile cards and started utilizing them, my credit score started coming back up, which was great because I was like, oh man, it keeps going from the 800s down to the 7. I'm like, okay, well, I guess, it's still good, whatever. After 760 or 780, it's really just bragging rights anyway, right? I like being up in the 800s. So I'm like, cool, I came up in the 800s. It's all good. I got business credit. We're good. We're rocking and rolling. So I'm using my revolving credit. And I've told you before, I stopped using 3 revolving cards. And I was only using 2. One was my subscriptions and one was just my gas and food and whatever I was using throughout the day. So I pay it off on time. And I implore you, if you're doing this and paying your credit cards off every month, set up that auto pay, even if it's just for the minimum. If you can do that, set up that auto pay, even if it's just for the minimum. Okay. Oftentimes you can put to pay it all off, but even if you just set up for the minimum, you'll always have that good on-time payment history, right? So I stopped using one of the cards and the credit score comes down because they want to see 3 revolving accounts. Just recently, just in the past month, I forgot again. Even myself, I forgot again. And was using 2 cards, and I was like, oh man, I forgot about this card this past 30 days. Now, what I think I got to do is I have one for my subscriptions and and the other 2 that I'm using day to day. I think I need to have 2 for subscriptions, right? So if I got, Netflix or Spotify, or whatever it is that you've got, some individuals might subscribe to, a lot of days nowadays, a lot of people are doing these meal deals, right? They're ordering food on subscription so they can cook or whatever it is that your subscription might have, clothing, whatever it is that you might have. Some people have contacts coming on subscription, dog food on subscription, something's on subscription, right? For you. So maybe break up your subscriptions because I noticed that maybe even your prescriptions are on subscription, right? So I noticed that for myself even recently. And I was like, man, my score came out of the 800s. What's going on? Oh, that's right. Use that 3rd revolving account. Use it again. Use it at the grocery store. I got some gas. And I was like, oh, great. And I get a notification from the My FICO app and it says, hey, your balance went up, right? And I said, the balance went up. Okay. Now I'm like, oh, this is great. And the score actually would go up. Sometimes when your balance goes up, your score goes up. Sometimes when your balance comes down, your score comes down. It's very strange, right? It's a very odd thing. They want to see that revolving credit being used on 3 accounts. Now, people start saying, well, should I use all my accounts, right? Wouldn't that even be better if I use 4, 5, 10, 15, 20? I'm going to use all my accounts again. It's not necessary. In fact, that might actually become somewhat challenging to monitor all those accounts. 3 revolving accounts. So right there, you got payment history, amount of debt, 3 revolving accounts. Keep that your open-ended and your revolving accounts, paying them on time, because if it starts creeping over about $2,500, it starts looking like you owe a lot of amount of debt, right? Your amount of debt is high. So they want to, even if you got a bunch of revolving credit, they want to see that basically you're paying them off pretty much. Your utilization is very low. Some people out there say, oh, we'll keep it a 1% utilization, 2% utilization. Yeah, I'm like, I just pay it. I don't stress the extra couple points because after 800 credit, I mean, what more, right? Well, if you get an 820, we'll give you 1.2% instead of 1.3%, right? I mean, it gets so exhausting that is it worth that type of time? It really doesn't. When you're at the 800s, you're really going to get, when you're in 800 plus, you're really going to get those best terms for everything, okay? 15% is your length of credit history. So again, when I first repaired my credit, obviously this was, many moons ago. This was a good while ago, actually. Wow, it's been a long time now thinking about it. I didn't have a lot of credit history, okay? But I did have credit history. And even if I didn't have a lot, I still was able to get into the 800s. So you see this 15% of length of credit history, the link, how old your accounts are. So your oldest account and your average age of your accounts, even if it's not that old, even if you have some, you still can get on the 800s, because I know I didn't have a lot of history and still was in the 800s, okay? Even today, I don't have 25 plus years. The highest achievers have 25 plus years. I don't have 25 plus years of credit history, but still in the 800s. My average age of my accounts is closing in on, they like to see 9 years or more. Mine isn't quite there yet. It's probably 8 or not quite right in there. So it's pretty close. But even when it was 6 years, 7 years, still in the 800s, way back in the day when it was like a year or two, still in the 800s, it is possible. Okay, so don't feel like the history is going to hold you down. Now, the big thing that I think affected me on when I had in the 800s and I kind of came back down in the 700s was my new amount of new credit. Okay. Because I was doing what they're calling that, travel hacking, right? The churn and burn, right? Getting the credit card sign up bonuses and utilizing those to travel. So I was getting new credit. Boom, 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 boom. Came down a little bit, came back up, came down. But I was kind of in that range of the high 700s when I was doing that. I thought that was important to be able to, utilize your credit. If you've got good credit out there right now and it's just sitting there and you're thinking about utilizing it, but you don't want to because you want to keep that precious 800 or that 780 or whatever, you might want to think about, I'm not telling you what to do, right? You might want to think about utilizing it to generate something that is for you. Even if it's cash back, that's money back in your pocket. If it's traveling the world, it is in a way money in your pocket, but also the experiences, right? And the ability to do things just like cash back. You do what you need to. Starting a business and using business credit, putting that good credit to work, getting whatever it is that you want, your house, your car, whatever, could be useful. If you don't need anything, you don't want anything, that's cool. That's fine too. You got it available to you, whatever it is, but don't feel like you've got to not use it to keep good credit. 10% is the amount of new credit, okay? Oftentimes, highest FICO achievers don't have any new credit in the past couple of years. It's okay if you do, though. Again, you can always take your time, utilize the credit, keep it, age it up, not really get a lot of new credit, and get up in that 800s. And then 10% is your credit mix. So you're looking at revolving accounts, your credit cards, including open-end cards. The Amexes have to be paid off at the end of the month. Those are charge cards, okay? Installment loans, a lot of the highest FICO achievers have 5 installment loans that have been, being utilized or open or closed or whatever, just 5 installments. They don't have to be open and being utilized at the same time. You might have a car you paid off, a couple cars you paid off, a car that you traded in, it's 3 right there. You've got, a house that's 4. You've got all sorts of maybe personal loan, whatever it is, right? So you might have 4 or 5. Installment loans that are there. And then, of course, the bank issued credit cards that they want to see is at least 7 of these 12 trade lines that they're hoping that you have at the highest FICO achievers levels have. I'm not saying to go get all 12, and I know you've heard that before. You don't have to get all 12 all at once, but at least 7 of them are big banks. If you had 12 store cards, you're probably not going to get that same impact to your credit score as having 7 bank cards and more of the big bank cards, the Chases, the Citibanks, the Bank of Americas, the Schwabs, whatever it is that you're getting, the Navy Federal Credit Unions, those types of things, the big bank cards, as opposed to store cards. Now, do you have to have store cards? No, you don't. You don't have to have store cards. I know people who don't have store cards and are doing just fine or up in the 800s, all right? So if you've got late payments, you've got all these negative items that are holding you down from being able to get these other lines of credit to boost your credit, you want to get this going, 609creditrepair.com, get that Beyond Committed package. We can do the work for it at theawesomelifegroup.com and jump on the subscribe shop, thesubscribeshop.com for the dates and times and when I go live. Typing that in right now. Okay, I'm putting my email address in here again because I get to talking, I get to go, and I get to answering questions, and I want to answer all your questions. Sometimes I miss things. Also, sometimes people want to have more of a discourse, a dialogue, back and forth, and have very specific information that they want to give and all that stuff, and might need to attach credit reports, all this stuff. So the email is very helpful. And I appreciate everybody who emails me and everybody who's here. It's a great pleasure to be of service, to be able to be helping people through this terrible, pandemic situation and all that stuff. So thank you for being here. Okay. All right, Tony, my mother and father just started their credit repair and they're excited to hear that your parents are getting it. Get this credit, get this perfect score, these 800s. Let's get these 800 credit scores. All right. I'm telling you. You could do this 2021, all right? You can do this year. New year, new you, new credit. Now, how do I remove a paid charge off? All right. Hey. Paid it, all right? Hey, Jerome, just because somebody else paid, don't be panicking, Jerome, okay? Don't be panicking. So perhaps this individual didn't see these videos, right? Hasn't seen any videos. Don't be paying these collectors and these charge-offs and stuff. Once it's charged off, here's the thing. Once it's charged off, if it gets paid, it's really not going to help your credit score, okay? As this person is talking about, they still want to get this off because it hasn't helped their credit score, okay? So you can dispute this, okay? Dispute it with the bureaus. Dispute it with the collectors, right? File your complaints with the CFPB, yeah? Get these negative, nasty, erroneous items off of there. Now, sometimes, okay, sometimes because they're not going to make no more money on this, right? And they're trying to sit there and quote unquote verify it. Sometimes they just kind of the other way. They don't have time for this. They're not going to make any more money on this, right? So if you didn't see these videos, you didn't see that, don't despair. You can still dispute. Get this junk off of there, okay? Carmen, man, when you be talking to Jerome, it's hilarious. And I got a 50-point increase with my lettuce. All right, that's excellent. Fantastic, good work. Still dealing with a collection here, telecom collection. All right, we don't have to say these collectors' names. All right, don't be talking about these collectors. They're all the same. They all the same. But if it's telecommunications, right? NCTUE. We've talked about this before, but we have new people on the channel, people getting to know what's going on. That's what they're here, okay? That's what they're here for. So the National Consumer Telecom and Utilities Exchange, NCTUE, is a Fair Credit Reporting Act compliant consumer credit reporting agency. I'm reading it right here, okay? Its members are telecom and utilities companies, okay? So they add information in there to be able to utilize the system. Let me say this again. The telecommunications have to add information in. It's an exchange, right? It's an exchange. It's literally called an exchange, right? National Consumer Telecom Utilities Exchange. They exchange information to gather information on other consumers, okay? Members and providers, whether they're local, they're national, whatever, they provide information and data into the database, allowing them to gather other data from other places, right? And I'm putting it right in here. You have the right on the Fair Credit Reporting Act to look at this information and see what might be unverified, inaccurate, obsolete, or outdated information that you can dispute with the bureaus. So if you're dealing, with this bureau and then with the bureau. So NCTUE, you get it out of there, you show that it's gone on there, and you show they're not able to verify these telecommunications. I'm like, where are you getting your information from, right? Because we know darn sure you're not going to the original supplier or furnisher of this information that you're supposed to be doing it, right? So if you're saying using third party, which you're even not supposed to, but it's not in the third party, what are you looking at, bureaus? This is the type of stuff they try to pull the wool over your eyes, but you're too smart for it, okay? They will try to play all sorts of games. I've heard plenty of things. People email, hey, they're saying this. Don't believe them. Don't believe these people, right? Don't believe this company. They see you. Let me explain this to you. Let me see. Let me get in tight, Jerome. Get tight. All right. Let me tell you this, okay? If you are not paying for the bureaus, right? The bureaus need to commodify you. They need to commodify your data to sell it to their customers who are paying, right? So if you're not paying, right? Because you can go through and you can get a credit card and you don't have to really pay for it. You don't have to utilize it. You don't necessarily have to get an annual fee with it. You don't have to necessarily pay for a credit report, right? Annual credit report will give them free, right? As a matter of fact, I'm going to pull this up right now because they still giving weekly credit reports for free at annualcreditreport.com until April 2021, okay? I'll give you that to you right now. You don't really have to pay to play in the game, to have credit. But somebody's got to pay for it. Somebody's got to pay those resources. So how do they do it? They need to commodify your data. So they're selling it, right, to their customers. So their ability to utilize your data needs to be protected for them, right? They need to be able to do that. So sometimes, even if, I'm not saying they do or don't, but you would think if it's a commodity, they need to make sure that data is in there, right? Even if perhaps it's obsolete, outdated, unverified, inaccurate, because you have seen it on your own reports. And there's so much for them to try to maintain that it's very possible that you have inaccurate, obsolete, outdated, inaccurate, unverified information on there. People know, people see it. All right. So anyway, let me get back to it. All right. First round of letters, three removals out of 11 and waiting for the next 30-day period. All right. To send the next round. Okay, 3 removals so far. Excellent. First 30 days got 3 negative items deleted, right? And so that's, some people get everything all at once. Some people do it over the time period. Boom, 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 right? but you're heading in the right direction. Okay. Fantastic. 11 hours. First round letters, deleted 3. Waiting for the next 30-day period to send the next round of letters. Excellent. And that's the thing. They're going to come back potentially and say, oh, well, quote unquote, verify, blah, blah. How did you verify? What did you do? I know that you need to be providing me something more substantial than just, we looked into it. It's quote unquote verified. Okay. Jorge, what's a good, safe way to start credit after it's all cleaned up? All right. So your credit's all repaired. Okay. And you're saying a safe way. Okay. So it depends on what you consider to be safe, I suppose. I don't know. If your credit's cleaned up, I don't know how safe you want to be. I suppose the safe route. I guess this is what, because you're trying to protect your scores as well, right? That's what I think it is, right? You're trying to protect your score. I think you don't want to apply for a bunch of stuff all at once. Yeah. And that might be someone else's plan. Might be like, look, I got this good credit. I want to get all this credit all at once. I think your safest route is to get the cards that make most sense for you and utilize them. Get the bonuses on those cards. I think a lot of great cards have bonuses, and oftentimes trying to do multiple bonuses at the same time can be very challenging. But maybe you can. Maybe it's not a problem for you. So I would say probably one, get that bonus, complete that bonus, get the next card, and, so forth and so on. It depends what you need. I mean, if you're, I don't know what your level of safe or risk is. Maybe perhaps you're going for business funding. Your credit's all cleaned up. You want to start a business and your risk tolerance is a little higher. Maybe you want to start a business and maybe you want to get some funding that way, right? So it just depends. But if you're just saying, hey, I clean up my credit, I want to build my credit, just 1-2 cards every few months, just building that way, you're probably good right there. All right. Should I send letters to the collectors when they do not respond? Okay, so you could send a non-response. We have a non-response collector letter. Okay, and if the bureaus don't respond, we got a non-response letter for the bureaus. But this also says they have not reported. They have not reported, Christopher. So have they not reported any collection account to your credit report? Because if they haven't, okay, so it's a med collection. They have not reported. Okay, I received 230 letter. You received it. That last sentence wasn't. It really doesn't mean I received 230 letter, which I think you're saying you received a letter saying that, hey, look, if you don't dispute this within 30 days, we're going to report it, right? Something like that. The Dunning letter. So you can dispute it. You can send 30 days. Maybe they didn't respond because they're nervous and they said, oh, okay, well, we don't have any. Just leave them alone, right? You could wait and see if they ever report it. They may not, right? And if they do, you can continue to dispute. You can send your non-response letter if you really wanted to. But if they haven't reported it, it's not on your reports, it's not affecting your credit, you may not have to worry about it, but you might want to wait and see, okay? How do you dispute a charge-off? You can dispute with the bureaus. You can dispute with the collectors if it's in the hands of the collectors now. And if it is in the hands of the collectors, only the collector can have the balance, or the charge-off can have the balance, but both cannot have a balance, okay? It's another reason to dispute, okay? Put my email address in here again. I see I get to answering questions, and sometimes I have to go to the next one. I try to answer in the order they are coming in. So if I miss you on a question, please feel free to email me. All right. Appreciate it. How to remove dismissed BK. All right. We've got special dismissed bankruptcy letters. It's very clear that this has been dismissed in the eyes of the law. It's not considered to exist in the eyes of the law anymore. And oftentimes we utilize that as part of the process of dismissed bankruptcies and disputing. So the special dismissed bankruptcy letters you can send in. There probably was never an adjudication on a date of order of relief for those And so it becomes very difficult for the bureaus to say, well, this is it, and this is the act, and this is what we say, and this is it's not really available to them. People who have dismissed bankruptcies, so perhaps you didn't go through with it, right, or for whatever reason, you can use the dismissed bankruptcy letters to get it out of there. Oftentimes, it is also sitting in LexisNexis, which is odd because it's dismissed, right? But it is, so you can dispute with them as well. You send your dismissed bankruptcy letters, your 609 dispute letters at the same time. This is interesting. Since I currently live in Germany, I don't really worry about the credit score so much. But what's the fastest way to get these charge-offs off? Send validation letter first, or send the verification letter first? What should I do? Okay, so you have a couple charge-offs here. You can dispute with the bureaus right away, right? And if you have collections as well, you can send your validation letters. Now, this is interesting. Haven't seen this in a while. I'm assuming that this is American credit, and you just happen to be living in Germany at this time. So, I guess assuming that you'll be sending them from Germany and dealing with international um, postage and whatnot, right? So the mail time might be a little bit different, but from when they get the letters, right? So the mail time might be a little bit longer. They'll get the letters, then they still have 30 calendar days to postmark you a response, right? And so that'll be interesting. That'll be interesting to see. Yeah, cute little trips. Haven't met anyone in Germany dealing with their American credit. Yeah, let us know if you are American with American credit living in Germany, or if you're German and are dealing with German credit, which is very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, cool. All right. Gonzalo, good to hear you. What's up, Brandon Gonzalo in the building? Subscribe, tribe 100%, 100. Arts Castillo. Nice. Thanks for being here. Art Castillo has written some very nice writing testimonial about the process and working with us and getting to the other side. It's fantastic. I appreciate you. Gonzalo has had a great testimonial for us here. And thanks for coming back to the tribe. I just put that out recently, and now some of you probably have seen it and read it. Thank you for coming back. I love it when the tribe comes back and helps one another. It's fantastic. I appreciate it. Okay. Appreciate it. We'll do a few more. All right. All right. We're going to do the collector's calling, right? We have a cease and desist letter, so they don't have to call you anymore. All communication will be done in the mail. You can tell them I want all the communication done in the mail. I'm not stopping communication. I'm just changing it to the mail, because they try to call, they try to trap you up, they try and get you to do things, intimidate and all that stuff, right? So you don't want to deal with them on the phone. You want to do everything in the mail and dispute and have them send, that's the whole thing, is they can tell you anything on the phone. I've heard all sorts of things. Oh, they said this on the phone and that. I'm like, did you get it in writing? No, because they don't want to put it in writing. They want to fool and finesse and potentially say all sorts of things that may not be true, right? Get it in writing. Get it in writing. Yes. And so hard inquiries with the auto dealerships. Okay. They didn't get a signature to run all the credit and all this. You got to be so careful with these dealerships. When I go on these dealerships, I'm like, nobody running my credit. Oh, no, we won't. We need this to run your credit. You got to sign when you're social. Trust me. They try to put you in their financing all the time. They'll try so many tricks to put you in their financing. They won't even tell you they'll put you in their financing. They will try so many tricks. Okay. So be very cautious about that if you're going to a dealership. Now, what you can do, they had no authorization, right? No permissible purpose under 604. You can send that letter and complain to CFPB immediately, all right? And you can even let them know, like, you need to remove these. You can go in there and talk to them. You need to remove these. You didn't have them, all right? You didn't have anything to run my credit 15, 20, 30 times, okay? Thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate it, okay? All right. Mary Jane, thank you very much. All right, so disputed this. got this collection offer there, gone, done, didn't deal with it. Couple years later, some other collection company trying to BS, trying to get on there and all that. No. They're not going to do that. There is a special reinsertion letter. If you happen to have the deletion as well, if you still have that, that'd be great. You may not. It's been a couple of years. But if you do, you can send in your reinsertion letter along with any proof, right? But this is really old, obsolete, outdated information. Also, they're trying to pretend like it's a new collection when it's not. So they might have tried to re-age it, which is more inaccurate information to dispute. Okay. They're trying to play these games hoping that people don't notice, hoping people will just get scared and pay and all this stuff. No, people are too smart for that. All right. You're here. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell for notifications. All right. And maybe gently tap that thumbs up. Yeah, please hit that thumbs up. I appreciate it. All right. Let's see. Yeah, so this person says, I'm American living in Germany. Okay. Thank you, Brandon. American living in Germany. All right. Might be interested in hiring us in the future. Fantastic. Excellent. TheAwesomeLifeGroup.com. 609creditrepair.com if you're interested in doing this yourself. You got the email, the ebooks, the videos, the system, walk you through the whole process. You can email me. I'm putting my email address in here again. All right. All right. Mr. Art Castillo, also known as Gonzalo. Yes, he's saying, hey, look, Brandon, Awesome Life Group is great and transparent. They can do the work for you. All right. Fantastic. Thank you. Art's up in the 700s now. Okay. All right. Most of the time, once things are gone, they're gone. They're gone. So it's not too often that things get reinserted, which you can send a reinsertion letter. They have to be able to provide you, show you why in 5 days. All right. 5 business days, they need to send you a certified letter saying why they did this. One of the very important things is to clean up old personal profile information and address as well. Can be very helpful. Okay, in that process, they're trying to think. Oh, maybe this is no. Collections from utility. Mr. Scott Burns coming a little bit into the utilities. I was just talking about that earlier. So just coming in the chat there, Mr. Scott Burns. Excellent. I'm glad you came in for this because we were talking about this a little bit earlier. I talked about NCTUE. All right. They're an exchange, and they exchange information with their members, and that's how they get access to this data on us, on you, and on the telecommunications utilities. Okay. You can take a look at your NCTUE report. They're under the Fair Credit Reporting Act as well. You can dispute stuff out of there and dispute with the bureaus and get this utility stuff squared away. All right. All right. Mary Jane also says, P.S. Y'all, Brandon, y'all are the truth. All right. Brandon's the truth. Just saying, y'all, Brandon's the truth. Okay. I had no credit, and then I hit 700s. All right. With the 609 package. All right. Once I get this collection off my back, I'll be up in 800s. Excellent. Very good. Very good. Good to hear. Scott Burns says, thank you, Brandon. Appreciate it. I'm going to put my email address in here again. Please email me. We're going to get to going out of this live here in just a minute after I put in my email, so you can email me. All right. Please email me. Hit the subscribe button, 609creditrepair.com. We can do the work for you, theawesomelifegroup.com. Please give it a thumbs up. It is a pleasure to be here on the weekends, to be of service, to help. All right. Please jump in on the emails. Let me help you get to the other side of your credit repair journey. Okay. I appreciate you. Love you also very much. And until I see you in person, I will see you on the other side. Take care.